Have you ever wondered why most pop songs sound the same? In this video, we're going to be covering why this is the case through evolutionary biology, and we're going to explain why these themes will stay the same for many years to come. And we're going to be sharing with you how you can use this information to improve your dating life. So let's just get started with why exactly this occurs. Now, you've already know what I'm talking about. You have those songs by guys who are always like, look at these fancy cars I drive, look how much money I make, look how awesome I am, and are you going to come home with me tonight? I'm just here to have a great time with many females. And then you have the females themes, which are, will this guy cheat on me? This guy cheated on me. How could this have occurred? Or will this person be the guy that I marry, or will he be yet another philanderous man? Why do these things occur? Well, it's rooted in evolutionary biology, and I discovered these from this book called Mate. It is a men's dating book, and it's probably the first of its kind in terms of a comprehensive A to Z how to improve your dating life book that really dives into decades worth of scientific research and psychological study on how humans work as mammals. And it's actually more simple than you'd think. So why does this occur? Well, it's a common theme throughout the animal kingdom. The females oftentimes want a male that will stay with her after she gets impregnated and she births a baby. And she has to be able to figure out which male is going to actually do that or which male will abandon her. And studies have shown that if a male abandons her, her chances for everything just drop. They get cut in half at the very least. Sometimes they triple. The chances of her own survival, the chances of her child being raised and surviving, the chances of her child being successful, all these things drop dramatically if she's abandoned. And this was a common theme for thousands upon thousands of years during the hunter-gatherer phase, and it's still in play now. And you can imagine how important it is, because even to this day, there's plenty of females who fall for this. I mean, I'm sure you know of someone. If you go to Hollywood or LA, there are plenty of females who have a child and have an absentee, abandoned father who doesn't want to be there for that child. And now they have to deal with this because they screwed up. So the genetic developments are there to kind of do the best that they can of making sure that they have a husband that doesn't leave. And there's all sorts of other reasons for this. You know, if you have a child, you become less attractive as a potential mate, so your chances drop as well. And so these are all voiced through the song. And because if we're alive, it's because our ancestors were all winners. They won. I mean, in the past, it was pretty tough. Like, for a guy in like the distant olden past, those were days where there was up to a 60-70% chance for the average guy of not finding a wife and passing on his genetics. And so we come from a long line of ancestors, hundreds of thousands of years of winners. You know, you have the genetics of some of the top winners in the world, whether it's Alexander the Great, Napoleon Hill, or Genghis Khan. People who had the genetics and the savvy, social intelligence, whatever else they needed to win out. And unfortunately, it doesn't help much because everyone else has those genetics too. So it's kind of like a constant race. However, the point is that because you have these, that is why you have all these tendencies. And I don't want to go too off tangent, but it does make you think, is this really free will, or are we doing all this? Are we saying all this? Are we writing these songs simply as an echo of what our genetics tell us, which is basically saying what our ancestors passed down to us because it worked for them? Now, just to seal the deal, you can kind of see how these play out in these songs. The woman who writes these songs are constantly looking for that man, and that's why it's a constant battle to do this. And you can see this very clearly in babies as well. Almost from the time a female baby is born, I've seen this, I straight up seen this recently. They will come out of the womb and they will already have these like motherly tendencies. It's all kind of like ingrained in them. That's why babies love playing with toy babies. I've literally seen a mother feed a bottle to a baby, and then that baby asks for that bottle to be pretend fed to her toy baby. So she's already come out of the womb with motherly tendencies. And of course the boy comes out of the womb with warlike tendencies. That's why they want swords and fighting and Call of Duty and video games that are violent, because those help them survive in a past world which was filled with warfare. And so you have these tendencies going on, and of course the child from an early age wants to, dreams about wedding and marriage because of that high focus on finding the best mate. Why? Because they have one womb, one egg, and if they get impregnated, they have to carry that. So it's highly a focus on a long-term relationship and a father that can care for that, versus a male who has almost infinite amount of sperm that they can use to impregnate as many women as they want, and therefore they get more sort of philanderous tendencies where they're just trying to have fun with everyone. And therefore you kind of see this in their music too. They're kind of showing off some of the more simpleton, superficial traits of attractiveness, the more obvious ones. I'm rich, I am famous, I'm a winner, look at these fancy cars. And through that, they're pretty much saying, hey, I'm someone you want to mate with. And then they're also giving that undertone of, hey, I'm just here to have fun. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's the best strategy. Of course, this book goes into more detail on how it might not be the best strategy, and there's other traits that you can use, like emotional intelligence and romantic proof. So let's go into actually how you can do this. But let's just emphasize again, these themes are common and timeless, and they will play out 50 years from now, 200 years from now. And that's a theme to my videos, honestly. A lot of the advice will be timeless because they're very valuable, high impact, and because genetics change at a much slower rate compared to how our cultures and technology is evolving nowadays, that they can't keep up. We can only evolve so fast genetically. And so, 100, 200 years from now, don't be surprised if these same types of themes in songs are playing out. I mean, they're clearly playing out in songs nowadays. Let me just pull a few songs off the top of my head and just examine these lyrics just to give you, to nail that point down. Taylor Swift, Style, he can't keep his wild eyes off the road. That lyrics is pretty much saying, oh, I got another guy who can't stop looking at other girls. Or, how about this? I heard that you've been with some other girls. What's the exact lyrics? Let me just think about it real quick. I think it's something like, he can't keep his wild eyes off the road. Or you can look at Jason Derulo's lyrics for his song. He has lyrics that go something like, I know what the girl needs. I got lipstick stains on my passport. Or, I woke up in a new Bugatti. Or, I got your body on my mind. Justin Bieber, he has lyrics like that as well. Or Taylor, or she has lyrics like this. This can end in burning flames or paradise. She's talking about, will this end in marriage or will this end crashing with another breakup? And that's a subtle distinction between a girl and a guy that most people don't understand. A girl, her perfect situation, what she's dreaming for is marriage. Like a marriage with a long-term guy. That's her paradise. While versus a guy, it's completely different. Now, these are just general themes. Of course, there are girls and guys who have different goals and dreams in life, short-term related or mid-term, but there are general principles that can help you understand where they're coming from. Now, let's get into how these can actually help you. And the book goes into more detail, but I just want to give you some quick tips. I'll give you my top 3 quick tips that I learned from this book. So understanding this, one, can help you navigate the woman's understanding. Now, what does this mean? Well, if you can understand what she's after and what she wants, then you can kind of start seeing, well, first off, is this a girl that I'm interested in? I think a lot of guys fail in that they think that they have to go after or trick girls and say, oh, I want a long-term relationship too, when they don't. And this book asserts that you shouldn't do that. Instead, look for girls who are interested in the same thing as you. Second thing is understand that you have to pull those romantic triggers. There's a reason why girls watch so many romantic movies, watch erotica, rather than porn. It's because of all that story behind the event. They're more concerned about emotions and the story and the build-up than the actual physical events. And therefore, they're less visual and more emotional, which is why they read erotica rather than watch something through video. And if you can understand that and pull out those traits and show those emotions and the build-up of the story and all those small things, that can really pull at her heartstrings. And then the third thing would be understanding the level of focus and attention that you can give her, in terms of not just attention, but really showing that you're taking time out of your own life to focus on her over other girls, whether it's remembering specific details about her life or her hobbies or interests or her name. It really caters to the evolutionary biology behind it, because it triggers on a primal level her looking for a partner who is demonstrating proof that he's someone who will stick it out with her and actually stay when that baby's born. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The book says, even if you're looking for short-term relationships or hookups, this still works, because even if you're not looking to marry this girl and stay with this girl and raise a child yet, by showing these traits, you still trigger some of her attraction triggers that happen on a deep psychological level without her even realizing it. So it's this book, and I totally agree, it's not about being unethical or fake. It's simply about showing things that girls value, whether it's appreciating a girl more, or really taking the time and showing that you're spending more time to really know this girl and understand her over other potential mates in the market. And by doing that, you win her over. And again, just want to go back to tip number 1, just to emphasize, it's not about being fake or chasing things that you shouldn't chase. Don't go for the girl who's looking for a long-term relationship or marriage when you are looking for a short-term relationship. Instead, look for girls looking for short-term relationships too. And if you, in addition to that, show those fatherly traits and that extra attention, she will really appreciate that, and you'll get extra points. Thanks for watching. I'll leave a link in the description if you want more details on this book. Thanks for watching. Again, I've done other videos on this book. I may make it seem like this is like a holy grail book, but despite all the good feedback I've given about the book, there are some things I do not like. And if you would like to see that, leave a comment, or leave some feedback, and I might do like a book review on this, because there are certain things which I think could be improved about the book. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.